What's up, guys? We're going to be talking about KWC predictions today. Nick, get more in frame. A big competition that just happened in Japan. Not exactly big, but big in the sense that all the top Japanese players were there. Was the Gloken Cup. Basically, it was the competition of a mock KWC, both prelims and finals. And after seeing that video and after some recommendations from you guys, want to go over who we think is going to take it this year and who has the best shot at maybe who's going to get the top 10 this year. So right off the bat, I mean, this could be the shortest podcast ever, but we have to mention the obvious names. Takia, Ryoga, Madi. Madi's gotten in the top 8 at KWC 3 times. And
Probably 3 or 4 times.
Yeah, 3 or 4 times. Yeah, that's right. And then Takia just hit a 2,000 plus point run without the level 11s and 12s at the Gloken Cup. So he did 30 tricks, and without 11s and 12s, he got 2,000 plus points, which is just absolutely ridiculous to get 2,000 plus points without.
It just came out 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, and it just came out 2 weeks ago. So levels like the level 10 tricks just came out 2 weeks ago. So it's pretty big statement that he just made at that competition. It's just absolutely insane. And Ryoga did really well too. He got 1,700 points. And again, these tricks have just come out 2 weeks ago, and it kind of just gets me really excited to see what they're going to be able to pull off when the real deal is there, when the 12s and 11s are there, because they can do 2,000 points with these low-level tricks that are just going to crush. So
two more months of practice.
Yeah.
To fully practice for the real deal. Yeah, Ryoga ended up winning the competition this past weekend, Gloken Cup. He got 1,700 points, 1,705 to win the seed for the real KWC finals. He got a seed there. And I think Hiroto from Sulab got second, but yeah, the point is, guys, we're watching these people do runs, and even Yasu, I mean, even when we talk about prelims at this point, Yasu, Takia getting 99s. Only thing they aren't hitting right now is the triple roll and pirouette, which, I mean, I don't blame them. Yeah. I can't expect them to have that down, not even them in the first 2 weeks, but who knows, maybe a 100-point prelim will finally happen this year. Every single Japanese player, I feel like especially in this past year, the skill level has just gotten so high, just risen so much. And the obvious names who we think are going to take KWC, if we had to go off a whim here, Takia, Madi, Ryoga, Yasu, Maharu. I know Maharu's going to be up there. Who else? Shinosuke could probably make top 10 again. Some Sulab boys. Hiroto got second at the Gloken Cup. He's pretty much playing the top players already. Yeah. Over there, so could see him in the finals as well. I think
Rhea. Yeah. It's funny because all these people there's nobody that's not Japanese. Yeah. In this lineup.
It's all Japanese players now.
It's just the Japanese players are just taking this to a level of intensity that just transcends that of any other country. The United States is still not even close. Don't get me wrong, I'd love to see people like Edwin do really well. If Alex Mitchell's going, which I don't even know if he is, I heard that he wasn't. I like to see him do well and actually try and practice.
Definitely would like to make finals.
Yeah, of course, us, both
definitely
of us,
100%. We'll go in and make finals and do our best to make top 10.
Yeah, absolutely. But other than that, from other different countries, from the people I know who are going, it's like to beat the Japanese players it's just, I don't know. It would require a lot of work around the year, not just in these months. To practice.
It's already too late. Yeah. Nobody's. Obviously, if somebody from America wins, after me saying this, obviously I'll give you anything you want. But yeah, I think it's definitely too late right now. I think it requires a lot of work, just like Zach said, throughout the year, and not just in these 3 months where they give you the tricks. It's the work is done year round, and the intensity, the sports-like mindset that the Japanese players bring with kendama is what set them apart. And I'm not too sure when America will win again, but I do hope in the the efforts of not only Zach and I trying to create a better base for the community, not just in America but in the world. I hope some player rises up in the next coming years, whenever it may be, next 3, 5, 10, that can compete for the first place spot at KWC. I feel like it's something that is very far away. I think it's very far away right now. It's easy to say these predictions and walk away because we all have the same predictions. It's, like we said, Taki, Ryoga, Madi, Maharu. These players, you can guarantee 2 of these players in the top 3 this year. Might be some special outbreak of a player, another one, but we can guarantee 2 of those people at least. It's going to take a lot of work to develop kendama as a sport in other countries to get it on the same level of intensity as Japan.
Yeah, I think we can talk about kind of like what the Japanese are doing that's setting them so far apart, and like what it's actually going to take for somebody to win. Because I think maybe some people listening might be like, "How can you guys say that? Like, what are you guys talking about? Of course we can win." Or like, "Wait, well, how are the Japanese different than us?" Like some people listening may not understand. So, I mean, Nick, you did a podcast on this, but what are some key points? Because you were living in Japan for a year and a half, and you saw every comp you went to in Tokyo. You're not only playing with the best players in Japan, but I mean, you're playing with the best players in the world, like every single time you went to a major competition on there.
Yeah, the first and foremost, kendama is something that is taken seriously over there. It's taken something, it's something that is seen as a real sport. The parents support it. The parents play it. They drive their kids to practices, to dojos, and to competitions, to jams. I mean, they're literally traveling all around the country to go to these events, and they don't think twice about it. It's a different level of seriousness when playing. I think over here in other countries, it's not yet seen like that. It's more of something as a hobby or a pastime, and people definitely do have fun here and like to use it in different ways, which is totally fine. But as for competition's sake, there's people are just accustomed to playing it like a real sport, like people would play football, soccer, baseball. Show up to practice 2-3 times a week, games on the weekend. It's kind of like that. And the parents are all in, giving them kendama homework, giving them, incentives to, hey, lace this trick tonight or try and film, give it your all tonight and we'll give you X tomorrow. I've heard that a lot as a way to, get their kids to play kendama. So stuff we would say for football, basketball, soccer, baseball over here in America. These things. So the one thing, that's the first thing that comes to mind is it's taken very seriously and it's seen as something that is cool.
Would you say that they're like genuinely enjoying it too?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, obviously they're not going to be enjoying it 1,000% of the time, but I think when you're being competitive and you want to be the best, and when it's your thing, you're not supposed to enjoy it 1,000% of the time. You're supposed to be pushing yourself, and it's going to be tough. The grind, wherever it may be, whether it just be filming a regular trick or practicing for a competition, or someone being strict on you if you're not performing well at your practice with your dojo or anything like that. It's not going to be super fun all the time, but they do treat it like something that they live by, and something that's very real. And I think they have a lot of fun at the end of the day when they're crushing competition and winning.
It's like that part. Even if the practice isn't fun, like actually doing well is really what's fun and makes everything super worth it. Yeah, it's just I look at Takia play and I just he just makes everything look so easy, like actually so easy. And if you're a random bystander watching Takia do the Gloken Cup and he's hitting a 2,000-point run, he makes it look so easy and effortless that he's just seamlessly transitioning between tricks and hitting them within 1 to 2 tries. That a random bystander would probably look at that and be like, nice. Like, kendama's really cool.
Would it be
kendama's
crazy?
cool.
Would it be a crazy
But if you
reaction?
saw like a 9-year-old player go for like a level 6 and lace it, it'd be like, oh my God, what?
Yeah.
Like, and that's still really impressive too, of course, but it's just the level of how seamless Takia plays and how good he is. It's just, he's putting in hours and hours and hours and hours, so many hours every single week, playing until night, playing a large portion of the day, and just playing at an intensity and a frequency that's on another level that's just blowing everybody out of the water right now because he's so far ahead. Even Ryoga is many years younger than Takia, and he's probably the second best in Japan right now. But he's I don't even know if he's like he's the closest, but I wouldn't say it's like super neck and neck.
No, not at all. Not at all.
Yeah.
Takia's still a lot better.
Yeah.
Ryoga's just got into middle school, so
Yeah.
he's got a ways. He's got a ways to go. So going back, the main thing that separates it is how cool kendama is over there, how serious it's taken as a sport. I would say one other thing that separates it is, I mean, we'll just say, I mean, the culture is, it's obvious. It's been around over there for years. It's kind of like our, I want to say our yo-yo, but we're not even the best at yo-yo in America. It's everyone knows what it is automatically. I think honestly, kendama has spread very, very well in America in the past 16 years, ever since it came overseas. But it's still not to the point where, you know, we have kendama teams, kendama dojos. We don't have kendama coaches. We don't have things like that yet available in person for a vast majority of people all around the U.S. And it is something that is going to be required, some sort of transformation of kendama as a sport in not only our country but others to catch up and get on the same level as Japan. I would love to see a day in the life of a kendama player now in Japan, one that trains for competitions. I feel like we'd all learn a lot about what they do, how they structure their practice. Because, you know, I personally love to play kendama anytime, anywhere, in any place, just any way I want. But and I'm sure obviously everybody likes to do that. But what I'm trying to get at here is Japanese kendama players, I know for a fact, have a more structured routine to their practice. They know what they're going to do. I mean, we were just talking about Takia. He practices in a way that is for something most of the time. I'm saying most of the time, but I know it's for a fact it's more than American players do.
You're saying he, instead of just sessioning and like having fun, he always goes in with a plan.
I would say he does that more often than not. I would say he does it more often than most people. I'm not saying I know Takia like the back of my hand. You know, we're not too close. But the fact that he's gotten up this far, and I know he's not only competing in the World Cup and not only competing in EKC this year, he's not only competing in random Tokyo kendama competitions and other various ones around Japan, but he's competing in JKA. He has a lot of stuff to do, a lot of competitions that he can participate in a given year. So when there's competitions all the time, it's hard to not do those tricks. It's hard to not prepare for them. It's very hard to ignore them. I know when I was going to many competitions back in 2018, 2019, before COVID hit, there was always one around the corner, and it was always, yeah, I'm going to do some session outside today, but I'm also going to make time to practice for this competition, whether it be 30 minutes to an hour, whatever. I'll make time for that, play kendama in that way. I'm envisioning Takia doing that a lot. Yeah, clearly he plays very freely as well. We see on his live streams. By the way, if you guys haven't seen his live streams, I don't think you will see better quality kendama than that on any day of the week. It's just something to actually watch. Like, it's like an edit. I can't even really explain it that well, because Zach and I actually just touched down in Spain the other day, and I got off the flight, saw his live stream, was like, yep, best kendama play I've seen all month ever since I left Japan, and it was only 2 minutes. So he's out there having fun in the ways where we like to have fun with kendama, but there's definitely a different level of structure.
Yeah.
Different level of routine.
And overall, I think it's just frequency of play, right? Like, it's just frequency of play. It's just the consistent prioritization. Like, he's obviously prioritizing it every single day, and he has been for the past, like, I don't know, 5, 6, 7 years.
Yeah.
And it's easy to prioritize something once or even a week or even for a month, but I mean, that guy's doing it around the clock 365 days a year. So that type of dedication, obviously, you know, he's obviously pushing himself. He's in a great environment. You know, he hangs out with Itaro. Those guys are both insane. Pretty sure he's in a group chat with all the best players in Japan.
Yeah.
And they probably talk and play Ken and obviously sesh and practice together. So he's in a great environment, and he's just pushing it, dude. He's pushing it, and that's what all those players are. Every Japanese player we just named are in that group chat likely doing the same exact thing. Like, it's not even like it's not really rocket science to know what we have to do. It's
not.
It's pretty much just, can you match or exceed their frequency of prioritization of play? Like, can you match or exceed that? And
I would love to see a couple Americans in the top 10 this year.
Yeah, we're not saying it's impossible for Americans to win a KWC. We're just saying like the likelihood of it happening, knowing
right now
people are going. I mean, the only player we know who's playing at like such a super high frequency is Edwin. But
a person that is going to KWC this year from America that's playing at such high intensity is Edwin.
Yeah.
Zach and I mean, I'm trying to make top 10.
Yeah.
I've made top 5. I made top 5 the past several years, and it's definitely a goal of mine to get back up there. Definitely doable.
Yeah, it's just talking about like winning.
Yeah,
just talking about the winning is like, all right, what you got to do to win. It's like, all right, that's going to take some preparation. That's going to last longer than a year for most players. And I hope to God like that an American wins this year. But just with the information that we've seen and that what we know, to win is like, that's a whole different beast than even getting finals or even getting top 10. It's like you're competing with
people who take it actually very seriously.
Yeah, like not only take it seriously, like take it seriously, are allocating like hours, like 8-10 hours a day. And all we can do, and for people watching, listening to this, like I hope this doesn't get you like isn't discouraging at all. I mean, we're all doing our best to, we can all do our best to, with our own lifestyles and our own responsibilities, right? Like to fit it in as much as we can. That's going to look different for everybody. These players are probably just fitting it in and making time for it consistently 6 hours a day. And, that's pretty rare with everything everyone has going on. But, from this podcast, I think it's really good motivation because these players who are doing this, I mean, when you break it down, like, it's so impressive because kendama and the frequency that they're hitting these tricks at, the consistency that they have is genuinely so difficult that it's hard to even comprehend, even as a kendama player. Yeah. I think it's only comprehensible the better you get. And even for me, like for me, it's I'm watching Taki and I'm like, dude, like I can't even 100%. I don't know what's going on 100%. There's no way I can't even touch some of these tricks this guy's doing. But I've been playing for 12 years. I have over 10,000 hours in kendama, so it's there's levels, But I mean, I was watching a girl on the beach today, like doing basically just tricking, and I was like, wow, that's amazing, that's incredible. Like front somersault into a back I think it's called backspring, whatever, backflip, whatever. And I was like, wow, that's insane, like that's so impressive. And then Nick hit quad tap jig, quad ken to bird twice in a row today, and I was like, that might be less adequately understood generally, but that is just genuinely way harder than what I just saw from this girl, actually. Like in comparison to like the relevance of how many people can do it on this planet, that's actually just like insane. And we really break it down. Kendama is, what I'm saying is like the stuff that's happening in kendama, like what we're doing is actually incredible. So I hope that with every KWC, the popularity and the popularization of kendama spreads and spreads and spreads, because that high level play is like the level of hand-eye coordination is just beautiful, dude. It's absolutely just phenomenal. It's genuinely phenomenal what's being done, and the day that people understand how impressive it is the day that kendama will have reached a completely new level.
Absolutely. I think to end it, I would like to summarize what I think is the biggest advantage the top Japanese players I was just talked about have over most players in the U.S. who do consider themselves, very serious about competition.
Yeah, for sure.
But, it's just not the same level. It's not the same level as the top in the world, which are in Japan. One, they have optimal environment. They have the best players in the world with them in the same country. And just to remind you, Japan is very small. They see each other a lot. They're always competing with each other, competing with the best, running with the best. They'll help you.
Yeah, it's not a big deal for them to fly to take a train 5 hours train to the next part of the country.
Japan is almost begging you to travel because it's so easy. Mm-hmm. They have an elite environment. They have accountability, whether it be their parents, their teachers, their other friends, the other best players in the world holding them accountable. They have accountability. Finally, they have people ahead of them. They have teachers. They have people to guide them. That's really what it comes down to. Accountability, environment, and people in front of you. Elite team.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
They have that, and it's amazing. It's really cool to see that from them. I think, And as far as our predictions, obviously I mean, everybody has the same predictions. Mahdi, Takia, Ryoga, Yasu, Maharu. Yeah, these players.
You'll be seeing these guys in the top 10 for sure.
And you know what? Like, honestly, there are some players in the U.S. who aren't going to KWC who are that hungry, who are actually super, super, you know, they're playing kendama 5 hours a day too, 5-6 hours a day as well. Yeah. I'd love to see Miguel make it out to one of these competitions. I'd love to see Miguel make it out to, you know, EKC, KWC, see what he can do, you know, against these best players, against the cream of the crop players. Don't get me wrong, the competition in the United States is intense, but if people from Japan were coming to every U.S. event, I think the results would be a little different. Not saying they would be completely different, but, you know, that level is, I'm just saying there's another level.
Yeah.
So, we'd love to get these people out there one day, and I hope to see it with my own eyes in the next coming years.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure Lock Team is going, most of them, hopefully next year.
Perfect.
They're hungry.
They're hungry. They're a hungry team.
They're hungry.
I like seeing that. Also, if you're looking into KWC, if KWC is not on your radar, and some of these competitions for people, I feel like some players just never think they're going to go to them or ever be able to go to them ever. It's definitely possible, and it's definitely worth it if you, especially if you've never been. They're like they're actually life changing to go across the world and actually be like, wow, there's kendama players here. You know, if KWC is not on your radar, just look at a flight ticket right now. Just look at a flight ticket. I don't even care if you are 100% certain in your own mind that you're not going because of financial reasons or whatever reasons. Just look at a flight ticket from your city to KIX Airport, Kansai Airport in Japan. Just do it. Just get on your radar because, you know, if it's not happening this year, it's going to happen next year. If it's not happening next year after that, it could happen the next year after that. It's like
these are a goal.
Yeah, it's a great goal to have. It's like I'm going to KWC. It's like that's sick. Like that's amazing to see all this in person. Makes kendama that much more real. It's like that's what events are for. It makes kendama that much more real. The inspiration's there, and KWC is the highest level of inspiration. It's the biggest competition on the planet. So, yeah, guys, just look up a flight. Just look up a flight. Do that for yourself right now. It doesn't even matter if you're going or not. Just do it.
We'll end it there, guys. If you're going to KWC, we'll see you in a couple short months. It is May as of right now when we're recording this. Currently in Europe, currently in Spain. Going to be traveling the next 3 months over Europe and Asia. Really looking forward to it. See you guys at EKC, KWC, and yeah, let's go US.
Let's go. Trying to get as many US players up in that finals as we can.
Let's do it. See you guys next week. Have a great rest of your day.